You know that tight feeling in your gut when you even think about an unexpected bill? A sudden car repair, a surprise medical bill? That nagging thought that you're just one unlucky day away from a financial mess? If you feel that, you are not alone. It's a fear millions of us share, but it doesn't have to be your story. Recent surveys paint a pretty stark picture. A majority of Americans, 59% in fact, couldn't cover an unexpected $1,000 expense from their savings. And get this, about 1 in 5 Americans have no emergency savings at all. Think about what that means. One flat tire, one trip to the ER could be enough to throw their whole financial life into a tailspin. I'm not saying this to scare you. I'm saying it to show you that feeling is real, and you're not the only one. But the good news is, there's a straightforward, powerful way to swap that anxiety for a sense of control. It's called an emergency fund. We're going to walk through the simple, real-world steps to build this financial safety net so you can finally get the peace of mind you deserve. Number 1, the why and what. Let's call it a freedom fund. So before we get into the how, let's get crystal clear on the what and the why. An emergency fund is just a stash of money you set aside for actual unforeseen emergencies. This is not your vacation fund. It's not your new phone fund. It's your "oh crap, the water heater broke" fund. It's the buffer that stands between you and high-interest credit card debt when life happens. Why is this so important? Because without that buffer, a financial shock can force you into bad decisions. You might have to rack up debt, borrow from family, or even worse, dip into your retirement accounts, which can set you back years. A recent Bankrate report found that when faced with a $1,000 emergency, only about 4 in 10 Americans would pay for it from savings. Your emergency fund is your defense. It buys you time. It buys you options. Honestly, it buys you peace of mind. So for a minute, let's stop calling it an emergency fund. Let's call it what it really is, a freedom fund. It gives you the freedom to make smart choices, not desperate ones. Okay, let's get into the simple step-by-step process to build your own. Number 2, the how. 5 simple steps to your emergency fund. Step 1, figure out your goal. All right, first things first, you need a target. The classic advice is to save 3 to 6 months' worth of essential living expenses. And essential is the key word here. This isn't 3 to 6 months of your fun money. It's what you absolutely need to keep the lights on if you were to lose your income. So, how do you get this number? Grab a notepad or open a spreadsheet and list out your non-negotiable monthly costs. This means housing, your rent or mortgage, utilities, gas, electric, water, food, be real with your grocery budget, transportation, car payment, gas, bus pass, insurance, health, auto, home, minimum debt payments, student loans, etc. What's not on this list is Netflix, Spotify, restaurant meals, shopping trips, and vacation savings. Add up your essentials for 1 month. Let's say it's $3,000. Your big picture goal is to save between $9,000, a 3-month fund, and $18,000, a 6-month fund. So which is it, 3 months or 6 months? If you'd have a pretty stable job and maybe a second income in the house, 3 months is a great starting point. But if you're a freelancer, a gig worker, or the only earner in your family, you should definitely aim for that 6-month cushion, since your income might be more up and down. Does that number make you want to lie down? Don't panic. This is a marathon, not a sprint. The most important thing is just to start. A fantastic first goal is to save $1,000. Just hitting that $1,000 mark puts you in a much better position than a lot of people and gives you a huge mental boost. Step 2. Find the money. This is where a lot of people get stuck. You've got your goal, but where does the cash actually come from? I get it. Your budget might already feel stretched thin. But for most of us, there are ways to shake some money loose. You have 2 main options: cut your spending or increase your income. First, let's talk about cutting back. The best way to do this is to do a quick spending audit. Print out your last couple of bank and credit card statements and go through them with a highlighter. Mark every single purchase that wasn't truly essential. The daily coffees, the lunches out, the subscriptions you totally forgot about. I promise, you'll be surprised where your money's going. Look for the easy wins. Paying for 4 streaming services but only watch 2? Cancel the others. That could be $30 a month, which is $360 a year. Brown bagging your lunch instead of buying it could save you $50 a week. That's $2,600 a year. This isn't about punishing yourself forever. It's about making smart, temporary trade-offs to build a more secure future. Next up, windfalls. This is any extra money you get outside of your normal paycheck, like a tax refund, a bonus from work, or even a cash gift. A great rule is to immediately send at least half of any windfall straight to your emergency fund before you're even tempted to spend it. And finally, think about earning more. Could you pick up a side hustle? It doesn't have to be a second 40-hour-a-week job. It could be dog walking, food delivery, selling stuff online, or freelancing a skill you already have. The key is to dedicate all the money from that side gig directly to your Freedom Fund. Even an extra $50 a week adds up to $2,600 in a year. Step 3. Pick the right account. Where you keep this money is almost as important as having it. You need it to be accessible for an emergency, but not so easy to get to that you'll dip into it for a pizza night. This means your regular checking account is the absolute worst place for it. Too tempting. The best place for your emergency fund is a high-yield savings account, or HYSA. It's just a savings account, but it's usually with an online bank, and it pays way more in interest. As of early 2026, many HYSAs are offering rates between 4% and 5% APY. To put that in perspective, the national average savings rate is often less than 1%. Why does this matter? That interest is free money that helps your fund grow all by itself. If you have $10,000 in a normal savings account earning 0.1%, you'll make $10 in a year. In an HYSA earning 4.2%, you'll make $420. That extra money helps build your fund faster and fights back against inflation. These accounts are also FDIC insured up to $250,000, so your money is safe. Pro tip: open your HYSA at a different bank than your main checking account. That little bit of separation creates a helpful pause. It might take a day or two to transfer money, which is just enough time to ask yourself, is this a real emergency? Step 4. Automate, automate, automate. If you only take one piece of advice, make it this one. Automating your savings takes willpower completely out of the picture. You have to treat saving like any other bill. It's a non-negotiable payment you make to your future self every month. Here's how to do it. As soon as you open your HYSA, log into your checking account and set up a recurring, automatic transfer. Schedule it for the day after you get paid. Even if you think you can only spare $25 a week, start there. That tiny amount becomes $1,300 in a year. Don't wait to see what's left over at the end of the month. Pay yourself first. The money gets moved to savings before you even have a chance to miss it. This set-it-and-forget-it approach is the secret sauce to making consistent progress. Step 5. Stay motivated. Building a Freedom Fund takes time, and it's super easy to lose steam. That's why the final step is to find ways to keep yourself motivated. First, track your progress visually. Find a printable savings tracker online that you can color in, or use a simple app. Seeing that bar fill up feels really good and makes you want to keep going. Second, celebrate the little wins. When you hit your first $1,000, do a little happy dance. It doesn't have to be some expensive celebration, that would defeat the purpose, but acknowledge it. Cook yourself a nice dinner, or just take an evening to relax. Hitting that first milestone is proof that you can do this. And finally, whenever you're tempted to skip a transfer or dip into the fund for something that's not an emergency, remind yourself why you started. Remember that knot in your stomach feeling. Now, picture a big, unexpected bill landing in your lap and you feeling a sense of calm, knowing you've got it covered. That feeling of security, of control, that's what you're working for.
and it is worth every penny you save. Look, building an emergency fund isn't about restriction, it's about creating freedom. It's about putting a wall between you and life's chaos so you can not only handle a crisis, but also keep moving toward your bigger goals. So, let's do a quick recap. 1. Define your goal 3 to 6 months of essential expenses. 2. Find the money by auditing your spending and using windfalls wisely. 3. Open a high yield savings account so your money can work for you. 4. Automate your savings so it becomes a habit. And 5. Stay motivated by tracking your progress and remembering your why. This won't happen overnight, and that is perfectly okay. What matters is that you start. Start today. Start small. Start by just calculating your number or by setting up that first automatic transfer of $25. Every small step you take is a step away from financial anxiety and a step toward real, lasting peace of mind. You've got this.